Hey, this is Kathy O'Connell at Reading Abilities. And for many of you immersed in the disability culture and studies, and this won't be anything new, but for many of you watching, it may be new and disturbing information. In the United States, statistics are that people with intellectual disabilities get sexually assaulted 7 times more often than someone without an intellectual disability. Some studies have shown that women with disabilities, as many as 83% of women with developmental disabilities. So if you acquired your disability before age 22, that constitutes a developmental disability, which is different from an intellectual disability. 83% of women with developmental disabilities can be sexually assaulted. As many as a third of men with developmental disabilities are sexually assaulted. These are incredibly high numbers, and there's very little public knowledge about it, which is disturbing in itself. But what is more disturbing to me is what are we doing about it? And ever since I have learned about these statistics, I always go to, we need to teach people how they can demand safety and feel empowered in relationships. So we of course need to deal with the perpetrators and the predators, but we also need to just empower people with disabilities to feel that they can communicate, demand what they want in relationships and what that looks like, and feel empowered to give feedback when you're not getting what you want in relationships, and when you don't feel safe, when you feel abused, to have not only a support system you can depend on, but also feel like you have the inner skills to say, hey, this doesn't feel right. I don't like this. I don't deserve this. I don't want this, and sometimes to get your butt out of here and get away from me. That's a week in my podcast, in my dating relationships and disability podcast. I'll put the link in the comments. I talk about safety and empowerment in relationships for people with disabilities. And what I emphasize is to really taking it to a micro level and teaching people with disabilities a very important skill that I think is often overlooked. How to check in with yourself about how you feel about interaction, the conversation, how someone behaves around you, how to check in, determine if you feel safe, if you feel empowered, and then how to communicate when you don't feel safe, when you feel like someone's being abusive. I do have a new guide around Do I Feel Safe? That is a checklist that will walk you through some questions for how to check in with yourself so that you can build that skill for knowing when you feel safe, knowing when you don't feel safe, and knowing how to communicate that. I will put both of the link to the podcast and the link to the download guide in the comments below. Please, if you're someone who struggles maybe with what to say to people when you don't like how they're acting with you, or maybe you just feel a level of intimidation by certain people, I would really encourage you to go check out the guide. A lot of my work, although it's focused on dating and how to put yourself out there, get a date, the other part of my work is really helping people to expect and look for lasting, healthy, happy relationships. And because I think for most people, that's the ultimate goal. And quite often getting there, it's a matter of acquiring the interpersonal skills that allow you to attract that into your life. Check out the podcast and guide. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.